Music. Music is a language that was stuck with me throughout my whole childhood. It served verbal languages, which are both forms of expressions. Music can be a way to communicate with others. It can be read, it can be written, and it is a way it can speak to one or many. While musicians see music as a language, it is rarely treated as such. People normally see it as a strict order to understand what music actually is, but it doesn't have to be that way. The music approach has been followed for hundreds of years, and with proven success. But it takes a really long time. Really long. During my first year of actually learning what music is, it was like a baby's first spoken words. And even though when you were a baby and you spoke your first language, you were allowed to make mistakes. And the more mistakes you made, the more your parents smiled. And even though you were speaking your language, when you spoke your first language, you spoke with people who were not beginners, but were already professional at the language. As a young learner, you start out in the beginner's position, where you advance in music, and later on, you would be able to play with other professionals. But as a baby, you would hear words all around you. And believe it or not, people would actually speak in your way in order for you to understand what is going on. I have been listening to music throughout my entire life, and that was just the beginning. Now, all I had to do was transfer that music into a guitar, and that was the second step. First of all, it wasn't really about the instrument itself. It was about what you needed to say and how you needed to express yourself with it. If we see something bad or awful, maybe we're just reviewing it in the wrong octave. Maybe we could just change our viewpoint into looking at the correct octave. My siblings were huge fans of music, and they played a lot of instruments since I was a little toddler. And when I finally put my passion into the guitar, my parents decided to get me one. And they actually got me one that played music by itself, and it would not allow you to plug the strings. And I was jamming like it was an air guitar, like I knew what I was doing. And that's the first step. I practically almost gave up because I knew it wasn't true. And I did. Until I realized that I've been listening to music throughout my entire life. I just didn't know how to start it off. So I took help from the best, and they've taught me what I needed in order to play an instrument. And now that I'm old enough to hold an instrument, I started practicing every day like I had a solo career in music. But in reality, it was just a hobby that I was stuck with when I was a kid. And that proves to you that music comes from the musician and not the instrument. Because a language works best when we've got something interesting to say. So, embrace your mistakes instead of correcting them, and like a child playing an air guitar where there are no wrong notes. After all, music is a language too.